Flivluv, friends. I'm your host, Samuel Romero, but everyone calls me Sammy. Welcome to our latest Flivluv podcast show here today in 2023, late August. I believe it's August 29th, Tuesday. As we always gather here, or try to gather here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I've been off for a week, and I understand why this might be interesting that I'm back after a week hiatus of last week. I was changing a lot of things in our podcast episodes and everything that we were doing. I was changing a bit of stuff that was happening in my life, and I was off a week from doing Flivluv shows on Yurzign media. And I just want to come out and say sorry for missing a week. Turns out in life, and I want to teach you guys this and tell you guys about life and how life works in the best possible ways. Is that in life, sometimes you have to take two steps backwards to make one step forward. So if you want to make a leap, a quantum leap, a successful leap, if you want to have an advantage in your life and you want to be successful like I do with these Flivluv podcast shows and what I teach you here today and for the next shows that come in the future, what happens in life is that we make mistakes. And that we sometimes have to go back to make two steps backwards to make one step forward. And sometimes in life you need to do that. Sometimes in life when you plan things and when you have something going on for you and when you're successful in a certain area and you want to keep on doing it, like how I am, preaching the beautiful Flivluv philosophy to all you beautiful people. If you want to keep doing that, you have to make mistakes with it. You have to learn from your mistakes, as we've been talking about in this Flivluv philosophy. If you know what the philosophy is, and if you've been watching our videos, learning, growing, and achieving, learning how the Flivluv philosophy encompasses all the ethics. You have to remember that people also make mistakes. And people screw up and have to go back and work on something amongst themselves in their life for it to make it work for the rest of the days of our futures. That's what you must understand in the Flivluv philosophy. And that's what you must be okay with people doing that. You can't expect everyone to do everything perfectly for all of you. You can't expect people to do what you want all the time perfectly. It's just not realistic. And this is something I've suffered and come to terms with and realized later in my life. That doing things in certain ways to get to my destination and goals in life, I have to change it up. I have to take a break of it. I have to set it down. And I was just listening to one of the greats. Whatever religion you are, this guy, man, he is a Christian preacher, a evangelic preacher, I think, evangelist preacher, named Joel Osteen. And I was just listening to one of his sermons online that you can check out on YouTube. And whatever your religion is, he's for everyone. He is by far the greatest preacher I have ever witnessed. And I was looking at him like Dave Chappelle looks at Kevin Hart, like, dang, I do this too, you know? But he was talking about, in his preaching and his sermon, in his ministries, he was talking about this issue of leaving it alone. That the weeds in your life are not to be pulled. Sometimes in life, weeds come up, and these weeds get in our way. And it wasn't our weeds that we reaped there, because as the famous saying goes, you reap what you sow. And the weeds that are in your life, whatever happens in your life that are not caused by you, those problems are still there. They're the weeds. But don't be alarmed, friend. Don't be alarmed by these weeds. Don't pull them either. Leave them alone. Leave these weeds alone. And set it down and take a break and be at rest. Because God will take care of it. Said none other than by Joel Osteen. And man, he is one heck of a preacher. As I try to be a preacher in this day and age of the Flivluv philosophy myself, I gotta hand it to Joel Osteen. Thank you, Joel, for reminding us about this issue. And he just did the video not too long ago from today. If you want to check him out, his latest video on Joel Osteen Ministries and his beautiful church. I love ministry. I love preaching. And God will always take care of our weeds in life. So the message that Joel was illustrating in that story and what he was preaching was, doesn't matter what happens to us in life. And sometimes bad things happens to us in life. But sometimes you just gotta let them go and not deal with them, not control them, not try to pull those weeds out. Because those weeds are not in our control. We're not in control of those weeds in our lives. We're not in control. As much as we'd like to think we are, we're not. So do the best you can. And make sure you do the best job you can do, because God is going to take care of it for you. He's going to take care of those weeds. Because guess what? He's got a harvest waiting for you. So, my friends, we gather here to celebrate the Flivluv philosophy. And as we practice over these many videos, and as we continue the Flivluv philosophy, we remind ourselves that it's always right and just and good, and it's what Jesus would want us to do. Practice these ethics of compassion, empathy, love, loyalty, humility, resilience, self-care, self-esteem, high self-esteem, gratitude, and many more. All of what those ethics are is our superpowers and the rules of the game to the Flivluv philosophy. And today's topic I'd like to highlight on, and I'd like to talk about, which has been going on in our beautiful world of ours. But has not been so beautiful itself, and what this issue is. First of all, empathy. Empathy is probably one of the most important ethics of the Flivluv philosophy. Empathy. Have empathy for thy neighbor. Have empathy for the people that you don't like. Having empathy will help you in your life and will help the other person like never before. When you have empathy for other people, when you have empathy for yourself, when you have empathy, it's just a much better world. The ability to connect with others and put yourself in their shoes, and the ability to be empathetic, because what empathy means is to have love for others. Simply put, being empathetic to someone always helps, and always helps you. Because I looked up the definition of empathy and tried to understand it more. And it simply said empathy is the ability to understand one's feelings and the other person's feelings. Which is the most important thing you can do. Like in, I believe it was the Happiness Flivluv podcast. One of the most important things in life that I taught about to you was that being self-aware was the most important thing in life. And when you're self-aware, when you know in your gut that you are genuinely happy, is what I believed I said, was probably the best thing you can have in your life. And it's the most important thing in your life, to be self-aware and to have self-awareness about yourself. And having self-awareness is really having empathy for yourself. When you're empathetic to yourself and others, you are aware of their feelings and of who they are and what they're going through. You are listening to them, and you are okay with everything this person is going through. And you're okay with what you're going through. Having empathy for others and yourself is the greatest ethic you can have, because it is being self-aware and understanding and being okay with what you're going through, with others' wrongdoings, with people's mistakes and your mistakes, and all the ugly things. That's what having empathy is. Which is the most important and probably the most powerful ethic you can have. Empathy, self-awareness, being okay with not being okay, loving, understanding, and listening to people is what empathy is all about. Empathy, my friends. Which definitely brings up today's topic: societal pessimism. And that's why societal pessimism reflects today's topic. Being pessimistic in today's society is a common theme. There is so much negativity in the world, And there is so much distress right now. There is so much pessimism that society has created in of itself, within itself. Whether you want to agree with me or not, it's there. Societal pessimism exists. And it's multiplying in numbers that I can't even imagine. Societal pessimism has developed the form and has formed itself in people today. And has taken the form of other people. Societal pessimism is this monster that's killing our society. It's this plague, this virus, this parasite. It's the idea that you're not happy. It's this idea that you are worse off existing. It's this terrible, unfortunate idea that has manifested itself on society today, that destroys relationships, destroys families, destroys friendships of any kind, and eats ourselves up from within. Societal pessimism. Imagine it like it's this zombie virus from The Walking Dead. I believe they called it the wildfire virus. And anybody who has societal pessimism is infected. Societal pessimism symptoms are disrespecting others, not being there for others, constant miscommunication, complete and utter destruction, and having absolutely no empathy for each other. And unfortunately, that is what societal pessimism is. Pessimism is this negative thought, but on steroids. It's being negative and having negativity on a scale you wouldn't believe. Some people have just been so pessimistic all their lives that they've been pessimistic and negative to other people. That spreads like wildfire. which is why there is societal pessimism today. And I'll tell you what, it's totally negative, totally bad for our society. And it's a disease, it's a plague, it's a virus. It has turned people into pessimistic zombies. It has completely and utterly destroyed others. And I've seen it. I've seen how people lash out in today's society. I've seen how destructive people can be, and for no good reason, both female and male. And what you people have to understand is that the media and the corruption of our government has caused societal pessimism. They have infected us with this disease and this virus called pessimism to destroy one another. And I'm not saying it's by the fault of the government or the media or any other powerful group. But it has happened. And our society has become more divided because of it. Societal pessimism is the plague of our people. And it's ugly. The way people act today, the way people treat each other, the way you may act towards one another, the way you may confront others and destroy others is pessimism, infecting your body, mind, spirit, and soul. And the way people hurt each other is part of societal pessimism. And the reason why societal pessimism exists is because you people don't understand that you can be truly happy. That you can conquer your fears, and that you can have anyone be in your lives, and that you can live your best life and be the best version of yourself. And it's not too late. Society has enforced this idea of a rat race and a very fast-paced type of life you must live to constantly be chasing something, which is the reason why our public education system sucks. That I was explaining before. Society has us in a rat race. And the government and the media has people in a rat race. I guess the other word coined by none other than Andrew Tate has also had a word for it called the Matrix. And whatever you want to call the negative group that's influencing our world, it's definitely there and it definitely exists. And whether it's the Matrix, the government, the media, it has caused us to be in a constant state of negativity, chasing things that we don't need in our lives, to spend our time the best way possible, and just destroying our relationships with others. That is what societal pessimism has caused from the effects of the Matrix and powerful groups in the world to sustain an obedient society. So, in conclusion, we don't have to get rid of societal pessimism, nor do we have to keep destroying each other. All of us are pessimistic, and all of us worry about the future. But we don't have to be negative about it all the time. We can live as one in peace. And we can lift people up rather than destroy. We can love each other. And even though it's hard right now in this life of ours to exist in this world of ours, and even though some of us, myself included, have been infected with the virus of pessimism and have destroyed others, we can restart. We can use the additional ethics and the superpowers of Flivluv, which is what's called forgiveness. And if we use forgiveness to forgive each other and to let things go and to build this world into a better place, it shall cure us from societal pessimism. Because that's the cure. That's, if you're infected with societal pessimism, and if you're a pessimistic person who doesn't like yourself, and you don't like other people, and you really don't like this world and what's going on in your life, you need to be able to forgive and look to be empathetic and have empathy for yourself and others. So forgiveness and empathy are the two core ethics for societal pessimism and for this dangerously destructive world of ours, and for the people infected with societal pessimism. Can you forgive others? Can you forgive yourself and be okay with not being okay? Can you love people? Can you be open to people? And can you allow the Flivluv philosophy to just flow throughout your body so fully, with absolutely no worries and no resistance? Because if you can't have empathy for people, You can't love people. You can't forgive people. You're going to have societal pessimism and the world dictate and control your behavior, which is a very dangerous virus to have. And you are a sick person. You're a sick person because you allow pessimism to dictate your life. And you're a sick person because you're not willing to allow yourself to forgive people and have empathy. You're sick. And you should do something about it. My friends, we live in a very harsh reality. But utilizing the ethics of Flivluv and listening to my message will help you in your life. I've lived Flivluv, being Flivluvian all my life. And it has worked wonders for me. If I'm happy and I live such a great life, being a 21-year-old white Hispanic in San Diego, California, with little to no money to my name as of now. How am I living in the present and being the happiest man in the world today? Just really look at that question and look at me and really understand this. How am I so happy and so successful already? In the reality that I live every day, being the person I am today. How is that possible? By being Flivluv and by combating societal pessimism and the virus of societal pessimism with the Flivluv philosophy of forgiveness, compassion, empathy. Have forgiveness, compassion, and empathy for people, and you shall not be infected by societal pessimism. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You will live a much more fulfilling life, and you shall be an all-around better person. Take care, my friends. Until next time.